Welcome back for day 12. Today I have 2 blocks to help me with these poses. You don't have to use them, but it helps if your range of motion isn't completely full yet, that you can still be in the right posture and have something to support yourself. Today we're going to be doing a deep lunge, and I just want to let you know that it's going to be pretty intense on the hips. So if you need to come out of it at any time, please feel free to come out of it. If you haven't done much hip opening, you might just want to go for a few seconds and then come out of it and just rest while we continue. It is going to be pretty intense if you hold it the whole time. We're going to be in a lunge and this inside of the hip. It's great because it's going to be really opening our hip, but it could be very intense. So I just want to give you a word of caution. Listen to your body and don't get in so deep that coming out of it is going to hurt your hip. So please be careful. Maybe if you have blocks, you can use that so you don't go down as deep. If you don't have blocks, maybe you have something similar that can stand in, maybe some books or something. Also, we're going to be on our knee for a while, so I've got a mat. It's pretty, a blanket. I'm going to put it where my knee is going to be. That way it's a little more comfortable. All right, we're going to get into a warrior pose. Make sure you're deep breathing. So you can see my feet. All right. I'm going to turn. That hip is, the pelvis is tucked in. Hands up, shoulders away from the ears. Standing here. Deep breaths. Maybe if you want, rise up and down with your breathing. So breathe in, breathe down. In and out. We're going to slowly go down into a lunge. This is where you might want something under your knee. And just lean in a little bit. We're going to be here for a while. So if you need to come out of it, feel free to come out. Trying to keep my pelvis tucked, navel in, shoulders down away from the ears. I'm going to lean forward as I can. I'm going to make sure this knee is not going in front of the toes. So I'm going to try to keep it perpendicular to the ground if possible. I'm going to put these here for my hands. We're going to be here for about 90 seconds to 2 minutes, so get comfortable. Those shoulders are away from the ears. If you can, go on down to the ground with your hands down to the ground. I don't feel like I can keep my position correct, so I don't want to go down that far. But if you are feeling like that, go for it. I love these blocks because I can turn them and they get a little lower but not too far. Be careful not to push this stretch. This is a deep hip stretch because we're going to hold it for so long. Let's be careful to make sure that we're not pushing ourselves too far in. Try to keep that chest up, shoulders down. Let's make sure we're keeping that pelvis tucked in as much as possible. Don't push it over to hurt your hip, but let's not have it pushing out. Don't want your pelvis that way. You want it this way, this way. Let's make sure that pelvis isn't pushing out that way, that it's going this way. It might not be able to go much because of how the anatomy of this position works, but you still can have it tucked in as much as possible. If you want, go ahead and hold this for 20 more seconds. All right, slowly work out of it, very slowly. We're going to come sit down. Don't worry, we're going to get the other side. And we're going to take that leg that was, well, I guess it would be the back leg. We're going to bring it in wherever you feel comfortable with. So if this is what you feel comfortable with, that's fine. Just, oh. All right. We're going to take that leg that was back, whatever you feel comfortable with. trying to work it forward slowly. I'm gonna do a cross leg here, but whatever you feel comfortable with. Deep breaths, shoulders away from the ears. Just push that knee if you would like, down deep. I like this stretch with the lunge because it bends my hip a different way. It's good. You can get that other shin out parallel. Great job. It's hard to hold them long, but it's a really deep stretch. It helps that joint really start relaxing. Stay here for just a little bit longer, and then we're going to go on up to warrior. This time we're going to have the opposite foot up front. All right, slowly come out of this. Get that blanket ready for when we go into lunge. Stand up. All right, so the opposite leg needs to go forward. So let me adjust where my bricks are. All right, here we go. Ready for warrior. Tuck that hip, that pelvis, hands up. Deep breaths. Trying to align that pelvis forward, maybe up and down if you'd like. Up on the inhale, down on the exhales. Okay, that now navel is tucked in, shoulders down away from the ears. Slowly get ready for a nice deep lunge. Okay, and if this is feeling tight, you might want to stop here. That is perfectly fine. We're not forcing it. We're just leaning into it. So whatever your body needs, let's make sure this hip doesn't rotate out. We want it to stay facing down towards the ground. The shoulders are down away from the ears. Navel is in. And you may find that one side is a lot tighter than another. That's perfectly normal. You can relax into it. I think in the last leg, I had my foot up the whole time because it was so tight, I was feeling it so much. But this leg I can relax a little more because it's not quite as tight. Make sure that pelvis isn't twisting. I want it to be just facing straight. Because it's kind of facing the ground right now, but facing straight to the ground. You don't want one side to be closer to the ground than the other. Deep breaths, breathing in through the nose. Holding it, then letting it out. Keep that core active. We're not just slouching in this position. This is an active position. Watch that pelvis. If you feel like going deeper, go for it. You'll be here for 20 more seconds. You can get your hands up to your leg and down onto the ground, go for it. If you can do that without compromising your position, your posture. All right, I'm going to slowly come out of this. Okay, I'm going to bring that foot into our cross position. Remember, as what you feel comfortable. If you need to have yours out farther, that's perfectly fine. Navel is in, shoulders back. If you can, push away towards the ground. If you can, put those shins straight, parallel to each other. My hips get so tight. A lot of us spend a lot of time sitting, and stretching our hips is so important. A tight hip can affect a lot. All right, we're almost at 10 minutes, so if you need to go ahead and go for it. If not, finish stretching this hip, and then we're gonna end in our lying pose, and that'll be it for today. Again, if you've got more time, you can keep stretching that hip. I know that position feels so good. Move slowly. You've been in that lunge for a while.